For thousands of years, mankind has seen things in the night sky. We have more knowledge of space now than even our deepest oceans. But still, there are things we cannot explain. Our fascination of the stars has caused us to see things beyond our planet Earth. Pictures in the sky, or constellations. They had a wide variety of use, including navigation, science, and even superstition. The Greeks are most commonly attributed to the creation of constellations. However, they were not the only ones to see things above. The Lost Constellations, a Native American's night sky.
When we think of constellations, we normally think of the Greek constellations, like Sagittarius, Taurus, Aries, Cancer, so forth and so forth. However, the Greeks were not the only ones to create constellations. In fact, the Native Americans had quite a few constellations under their belt.
Unknown to most, the Native Americans had a full-fledged system of constellations, tied heavily into their culture and beliefs.
The Native American constellations were strongly tied into the Earth and what they knew and what they were familiar with, which explains why there are all different types of animals that appeared in the Native American constellations.
My favorite Native American constellation is the Great Bear, because it's the story behind it's pretty interesting. They used the bear to kind of tell when fall was coming, because when the Bear constellation was up in the air, they knew that autumn was coming, and the story kind of goes where the bear was shot with an arrow, and but it wasn't real badly wounded, but it was dripping some blood, and in the autumn when it rose, the blood dripped out and colored the leaves, and that's what gave the leaves all of its different colors.
Myths and legends were synonymous with the night, all helping to tell the story of the bigger picture.
Long, long ago, when the world was young, the people of the sky were so restless and traveled so much that they made trails in the heavens. Now, if we watch the sky all through the night, we can see which way they go. But one star does not travel. That is the North Star. He cannot travel. He cannot move. When he was on Earth long, long ago, he was known as Naga. Every day, Naga was climbing, climbing, climbing. He was higher than any mountain could see, and he could look down on the Earth, far below him. About this time, his father was out walking over the sky. He looked everywhere for his son, but could not find him. He called loudly, "Naga! Naga!" And his son answered him from the top of the highest cliffs. When Shino saw him there, he felt sorrowful to himself. My brave son can never come down. Always he must stay on the top of the highest mountain. I will not let my brave son die. I will turn him into a star, and he can stand there and shine where everyone can see him. He shall be a guide mark for all the living things on earth or in the sky. And so Naga became a star that every living thing can see.
I also kind of like the story of kind of how all of their constellations became, and that goes back to where this great brave rubbed his hands together and balled up some of the skin off of his hands and threw it down into the oceans, which was we were an ocean planet, and ended up forming the land and the sky with those two balls of skin from his hands.
The myths that went along with their constellations were not always mere stories, many of them having to do with practical reasons, such as hunting.
One of their most important constellations, though, was rabbit tracks, which governed the hunting seasons. And the interesting thing about rabbit tracks is depending on which direction it pointed, which correlated with the seasons, would govern whether it was hunting season, whether they could hunt game or not, because they would not hunt during their mating season.
Needless to say, if there's one thing all cultures have in common, it's our night sky.
When I look up to the night sky, to be honest, I don't really see much of anything. I was never good at connect the dots, but I don't think it's what we see so much it is the fact that we as mankind see something up there. It's our desire for knowledge, our desire to understand better the world, the universe we live in. And it just goes to show you that societies thousands of years ago in our very own backyard knew what they were doing to some extent. They really pushed the envelope as to what they knew and really tried to create a system that they could rely on, that they could predict things to come. They could predict the seasons, weather. I don't think we'll ever stop looking at the night sky for answers.
Naga!
Keep saying Naga.
Naga! 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 Is that enough?